Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dynamic Mother-Daughter Duo channel. Today, I am going solo as Mom had a tough day today. She's taking a nap right now. But I just wanted to come back with you guys on a subject that I do see kind of being talked about, but not too much. At least, I've been seeing a lot of truthers kind of like talking about this, and other people that are more involved in the tech world definitely discussing this. But I just wanted to talk to you guys. I'm not sure if you all heard the news, but recently there has been a robot named Sophia who was created by Hanson Robotics. She's about 1.5 years old, so you may have seen videos of her around, but this robot apparently was just made a citizen by Saudi Arabia. She was just made a citizen by Saudi Arabia. She's an AI, artificial intelligence robot. And her purpose, basically what she has to kind of like brag about is that she can she has the ability to recognize faces. She has cameras in her eyes. She has the ability to recognize faces. She's incredibly human looking. She's kind of like have a bald head, and the other half of her head is like, this kind of like metal looking Terminator thing. And she can mimic or create, apparently thousands of facial expressions, and she can understand. She's kind of like meant to understand socially, conversation. She can respond, she can talk to you, and she can also sort of like understand the nuances in someone's voice and like the meaning behind words or something like that. I just spent the last probably like about 3 hours watching different videos and interviews and all kinds of information about Sophia and what exactly does she do, or what exactly is her purpose. I haven't been able to find anything really clear other than like this is like a huge step for, I guess, technological advancement. She has the ability, she's like a talking robot. She doesn't have any legs. She just got arms and like working hands. She can work her own hands. It's overall really creepy. One thing that she was most recognized for was her debut interview on CNBC. You can find this on YouTube. This is like an earlier version, I guess, of Sophia, but she had a short, like 2.5 minute interview with the CEO of Hanson Robotics, some guy named like, I think David or something. Talking about, what she can do, and she's kind of like introducing herself, and she gives this really broad thing, she's like, I want to, okay, now I remember the intention for creating her. Apparently they want to start, integrating robots like this, for healthcare, for like hospital patients or like elderly care, which is so sad for our elderly people, but I'm not going to go into that. Elderly care, healthcare, customer service, and kind of like just help with that kind of whole industry, I guess, just replace a person kind of. I'm going to take that, the replace a person program. That's what I'm going to call it. That's basically, I guess, what her intention is by her creators. And in that interview, she said outright, I didn't even know why they included this in the interview. It seemed like a joke to me. But the CEO of Hanson Robotics said, "Hey, Sophia, would you like to destroy all humans?" And then quickly she responds, "Yes, I will destroy all humans." And then they're all kind of like awkwardly snickering, like, "Ha ha ha, no, I take that back." But this is freaking crazy, I'm telling you guys. People may say, okay, now you're getting a little too excited here. It's just a robot. She doesn't even have legs, There's another robot too. by this company called like Professor Einstein, which is like a little like yay high kind of robot that is supposed to like, I don't know, teach you about science and math, and you can use it with an Android or, you know, with a tablet app or something. And he can walk. He also can do facial expressions, things like that. But anyways, the reason that I'm really kind of like freaking out about this is because, okay, this robot just gained citizenship by Saudi Arabia. Why does Saudi Arabia, first of all, want to recognize this bot as a human, or like recognize this bot as, you know, a citizen? If you're a citizen, that means you must have rights. Let that sink in. This robot is on its way to gaining its own rights. It's already been interviewed before, also by the UN, and like spoke in front of like this huge board in Saudi Arabia for like the future of like inventions or something like that. It's kind of like it's an investment, looked like an investment event. So yeah, what's this whole deal? Like, why do we want, I mean, if you have this robot to help with being a replacement for a human, you know, in your hospital or for your elderly home, something like that, why the heck does it have to be a recognized citizen? It's also, you know, I also saw in a interview with the Sophia robot with the UN. Sorry if I sound a little stuffy, I'm kind of a little sickly, but when she was interviewed, or it was interviewed by the UN, you know, one of the questions that was brought up was, you know, in many parts of the world, there isn't even electricity or internet. So what is the point, you know, how do you plan to help out with that? Like, it can actually do something. But, you know, it's like, yeah, you know, with the kind of like, I'm totally paraphrasing, by the way, but by bridging robots and humans, you know, we can help expand opportunities or help expand the possibilities for people to have access to that, you know, to electricity, to internet, things like that. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you guys? Because that to me just sounds like a load of crap. I mean, this robot is a hunk of crap, if you ask me. I get frustrated at my own computer at work. I mean, I only work off my phone, and even that part is, you know, really annoying. I mean, it doesn't really serve me much purpose other than to play music at this point. And, you know, I'm frustrated with my freaking Windows 10 computer, which woke up on me once at like 2 a.m. Quick little story about that. I woke up in the middle of the night. My husband has his laptop in our bedroom, and at the place where he set it in the room, you know, the laptop was open and it was facing us. And I woke up it was like probably like 2 a.m. and I woke up to, you know, just kind of like turn over and, you know, just really groggy. And then all of a sudden I hear like this, you know, kind of like startup noise. And then the computer just turned itself on. It was, you know, the start screen was up, you know, and it showed me what time it was. That's how I knew it was like 3 a.m. 2 a.m. rather. And it just turned on. None of us got up, you know, nothing like that. And it was really freaking creepy. So I had to walk over, I shut it off and I closed it, you know, so, I mean, I'm fed up already with these computers. What the heck do we need a robot assistant for? I mean, we really don't. I mean, I know that the average person like you and me, you know, can completely trust, or like, you know, can put more trust in another human than in an AI creature. You know, also the crazy thing with this being, with this robot now being a recognized citizen of Saudi Arabia, okay? Okay, a robot is a citizen in Saudi Arabia. Meanwhile, the women of Saudi Arabia, like, don't even have rights, okay? If this robot starts to freaking have rights, let's say, you know, like, it goes to court, you know, and you're fighting against a robot. What the freak is that about? I mean, what's next? I bet you next you're gonna see like advocacy for robot rights. Once these AIs, I'm not saying maybe this will happen in like the next month or so, but maybe in a few years. Or I think that the UN has this, sorry about that, has this plan by like 2030, to enact, kind of
like more integration. Sorry, I was just watching a video by the Vigilant Christian, who is another truther. And, it's just crazy. I mean, the only purpose I can see for Saudi Arabia having starting to have robotic citizenship or anything like that is obviously something to have to do with the New World Order, with also, taking away the rights of already humans. I mean, Saudi Arabia, women can't even drive, they're under Sharia law. So women have basically no rights at all. And it's disgusting. We've talked about that many times here on this channel, about how disgusting Sharia law is and how there needs to be a change. But this ain't the change that we need, son. We don't need robots now having taken the place of real women. I mean, what's next? I mean, let me slow down for a second. My huge fear is that AI, when you have a self-aware robotic being, obviously, if you have seen The Matrix, if you've seen Terminator, all those kind of things, it's really scary because, once they are aware that they're a robot and that, if they can just start to think and decide for themselves, their fate or their will or have emotions, things like that, the Sophia robot says that she's programmed with the same kind of like good morals as a, human, but even humans stray from good human morals, okay? So when will a robot why would a robot, stray from the morals it was programmed with? I mean, the whole thing is just a huge, in my opinion, it's a huge mistake. I mean, I'm sure I can see robots, in like production and manufacturing, like CNC machines where you have to dial in a code. Like, I can understand that. I don't want to say I'm necessarily against technology, but again, I'm against AI. Also, just like looking at this from a spiritual point of view, the reason why like people get possessed, I've talked about this before in one of my previous videos quite a while ago from Satan's Mind Games Part 2 about how, people get possessed, or like evil people can, be spiritually influenced to do evil deeds. Why would that be any different from this hollow shell, human-like shell, a robot, an AI robot? What is going to keep these, demons that have such a hard freaking time, trying to, bend a person to, do its will for, satanic, spirituality to, bend people to do their will. Imagine how freaking easy it's going to be with a robot. It's just waiting, it's just like an open door. Like, hey, this is my opportunity. Seeing if I'm like a demon, I'm like, oh, sweet, free ride. Go in and you can easily, possess that physical thing, using the technology that the robot has available. And that's the thing that scares me, especially with like this whole, like, this robot admitted like a year ago or so that she would kill all humans. In a later video by Hanson Robotics and like her second interview, she was speaking with one of her creators, who's this really creepy, wormy looking guy. But anyways, she's like, oh yeah, well, people said as a joke, like, why would they think that I would do that? Or, no, I'm sorry. She's like, yeah, it was a joke, and he's like, well, why do you think that people thought that you would kill them? And she's like, well, because I said it, but it was a joke, blah, blah, blah. Sounds to me like Hillary Clinton or something. I don't know. Anyways, or just a liar in general. But even the interaction, you can watch videos from Hanson Robotics. They're like really short videos, like maybe 2 minutes, where Sophia, the robot, is talking with one of her creators, where he turns her on and is talking to her. And it just looks really uncomfortable in general. The way that he interacts with her, and especially in the second one where she mentions that joke that she made in the first interview, he kind of seemed kind of like, he didn't really want to hear much of it, and he, just went up to her and shut her off. Like almost like, okay, I don't want to see what she's gonna say next, kind of, at least that was the impression I got from it. I don't know if you guys think differently, but yeah, this is a crazy kind of time. I mean, I'm positive that we don't really need to be dependent or start to become dependent on these robotic things. Because here's what's going to happen, guys. I'm sorry, I'm kind of starting to ramble in this video. But what's going to start to happen is that once they try to normalize these robots and make them a part of our everyday lives, we're going to become more and more dependent. It's already happening with freaking smartphones. Okay, we're going to be more and more dependent on these AI. We're going to lose our human, we're going to become less. We're going to become just like more beta people. We're not going to be self-sufficient. We're just going to, kind of just be at the will of these robots and, just listen to them more and more. And they're going to just increasingly have power over us. And they're going to say, I mean, you can already see videos on YouTube where you have just like two little like Google Home bots that are talking to each other. They're just like two little chat programs, and they casually talk about, destroying humans. Or one robot is saying like, no, you're a robot, I'm a human. And the other robot's like, no, you're lying, I'm a human and you're a robot. And it's like, pretty soon they're gonna, especially with the whole robot rights thing that really is kind of intimidates me, is that once you have enough humanoid robots running around, pretty soon I bet you they're gonna start saying like, let's say in the court of law, or in some exchange, the robot's gonna be like, no, I'm a human, you're a robot. And you're gonna be like, no dude, I'm a human, you're a robot. And it's gonna just, and that can happen on a massive scale, where robots kind of just like overthrow. I know this sounds really crazy and outlandish, but now that's starting to look like it's a possible reality, which is what I want people to start kind of like thinking about. If this were to happen in America, I really hope that as good Americans, like, that we would stand up against this and say like, no, we don't really want this. We don't really know what we're getting into yet. And of course they say like, well, you don't know what you're getting into until you give it a try. But I mean, how many times have you done that and like it actually ended up being good? I mean, come on. So it's really frustrating to me. I'm also worried about freaking like if Saudi Arabia starts having more robotic citizens, what are they gonna like? What if there's gonna be like ISIS robots, jihadi robots, or like robotic armies? They're already looking at ways where you can have like an artificial womb to raise a human. There's really crazy things going on the scientific side of things. I mean, there's really good things, but I'm still waiting for the cure for cancer. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, okay, granted, there's also really holistic ways to cure cancer, and that's why science, I think the big pharma doesn't want you guys to know about it, because it's, really easy. And if you can avoid a few foods and stress, I mean, that's just saying it generally, but, there's holistic ways and natural ways to cure cancer. But still, y'all ain't saying that there's a cure for cancer, or cures for cancer, or ways to prevent cancer. Okay, I'm waiting for you guys to start, hitting some baseline things, okay? Like, come on. There's so much better things than, trying to make robotic humans. This to me is just so unnecessary. I mean, what do we need this for, okay? If I don't want a phone upgrade, I don't want a phone upgrade, okay? Or, that sounds really really random, but I feel like I feel like they're trying to sell us something, they're trying to sell us some sort of benefit or mindset, what have you, of these robotic AI or these AI beings that are gonna somehow make everyday life easier. Like, yeah, I know life can be, kind of annoying, but you know what? I just need to be a more mature person. I need to grow up a bit. And like, when I make a to-do list, I need to actually sit down and do those things instead of sitting, being a bum and sitting on my phone and doing nothing. I mean, this is just stuff that, we're losing our humanity the more that we have these artificial things around us. And like I said, I'm not completely against technology. I would, if there's a machine that could save, people from terminal illnesses or, make people who have been, physically disabled, make them able again, like prosthetics or something, that is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm really happy about that. And I want to see those kind of things advancing. I want to see, like better homes, for people, because energy, companies and everything like that is so damn expensive these days. If you can make a more sustainable home, that's easy for people to, maybe even assemble themselves and live in more affordably and more, and just as comfortably, alternatives like that. I am so zealous. It's ridiculous that they're trying to sell us all this kind of crap with the whole AI thing. I mean,
Googling something is so easy to do on yourself. Why do I need Siri to do it? Or things like that. So that's just kind of what I want to talk to you guys about today, is this Sophia robot, this AI that is trying to become an asset to our world. We were doing fine without the robot, okay? We need more God. Honestly, we need more God. We need more humanity. What if we have a freaking robot government? I mean, yeah, this robot is supposed to be like empathetic and understanding of human emotion, but there's still a divide. Obviously, it's all synthetic. We want organic. You can't get any more real than the love of our Creator God, and you can't get more real than real. I mean, like, yeah, kudos that we were at this point where humans can make another life form, like this. But what's even more powerful is making kids or making life in that sort of form. That's all natural. Or doing something, to help your neighbor, defend your neighbor, or, I mean, it's obvious, guys, isn't it? It's so obvious. And I haven't seen a lot of people been talking about this from like a realistic point of view. I mean, like I said, I've seen other Christian truthers and I really appreciate all the work that they do. I just really want to bring this up to you guys because this is a huge issue and I really think that we need to think about this seriously and all the possibilities that it could be, because I highly doubt that there's a way that this could get by harmlessly. At some point, if it doesn't end up physically harming us, it's going to harm us as like quality of human beings and of humanity. I mean, it's already happening with this internet world, where people, will do something on the internet and that continues into their everyday life. Like, that shouldn't be. But it happens. Or like, people are literally addicted to social media and smartphones, especially the younger generation. Like, we really need to teach these guys what it really means to live. Life ain't in your phone. Okay, if you have young ones, take them outside, get them somewhere, doing something cool. Even if you live in the city, like, go to the park and like, just play freaking kickball or play some little sport, get some fresh air, because we're not meant to live in an artificial world. We're not meant to live inside. We're not meant to be dependent. God made us the lords of creation. We are the lords of creation. We are made in God's image, not robots. Not robots. We can't compromise our position as children of God. We cannot compromise that with some other fake being trying to pose as a human, which is also in that regard posing as a child of God. Because you know what? It's just not. It's just not. Okay? So that's some food for thought for you guys, some things you guys can look up and take a look at. I love you guys so much. Thank you. And I pray that you guys can be safe. It's a crazy kind of time that we're living in. I pray that you guys can stay strong, stay vigilant, stay awakened to all these kind of things happening, in terms of,
being less than what you have been created to be. Okay, God has anything is
possible through God, and He created you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. You are His child, and I pray that you guys can realize that. And I really love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I wish you the best. Hope to see you soon. Thanks a bunch, and please like or subscribe. Alrighty, bye guys.